right, and welcome everyone to episode three. Three, right? Three. We're on number three. Three's the charm. Third time's the charm. Of course, some of my players here know the importance of three. Tap, tap, tap. But that's a completely different story, and we won't get into it. But welcome everyone, and super excited to be here. Super excited to be back with the crew of the Ragnar for this. I believe it's going to be the epic conclusion, our three-part opener. We'll see what happens. Thank you, Drew, for the Prime sub. I appreciate it also. Very kind of you, my friend. But with that being said, enough about the old game master here, Dare Wolf. Let's hear from our players, have them introduce themselves and their characters, and then we will have today's opening log from none other than Lieutenant Commander Krev. So, Captain, take it away.
I'll unmute even. That'll be helpful. I am Brian. I'm at MindOverBrian on both Twitter and on Twitch, although on Twitch I spell it with a 0. And I'm playing Commander Asba Traso, a Betazoid who forsook his telepathic powers back in the Academy.
Good evening. I'm Siderial Day, and I am the Executive Officer and Chief Medical Officer, Commander Ajay Shahira, a Bajoran.
Nice.
I am Symbol 24, Lieutenant Alden Paris, Science Officer of the Ragnar.
And my name is Charles. I'm playing Ensign Zed, the Ferengi young officer who is straight out of the academy. He is the operations officer / chief of security of the Ragnar.
Hi, I'm Drew Baca. I'm playing Lieutenant Commander Krev, the Tellarite chief engineer of the Ragnar.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And as previously stated, I am Dare Wolf, the game master, the gentleman that spins tales, weaves adventures, and tries to spend all of his threat to ruin their game, but always fails because, the players always win. It is what it is. But we have an opening log from none other than Lieutenant Commander Krev. Take it away, Chewbacca.
Chief Engineer's Log, Stardate 51266.3. With I can never pronounce his name. Anyways, with the captain finally getting me that inside that damn black box, I finally got to look at our Krognik blessed new illegal cloaking device. Cap isn't letting me get a full team in to tear it apart to see how it ticks, and it seems exceedingly resistant to whatever scans I've managed to make. The control system also seems amazingly primitive considering what it's supposed to do. Despite these limitations, I am eager to get my hooves on the guts of this device and hopefully get a handle on how it is affecting the time fluctuations that so vex Star Ensign said. Commander Ajay has also reported that the Ragnar has encountered a strange singularity with a ship of unknown origin and an old Type 2 shuttlecraft in orbit around it. The alien craft is reportedly blocking our sensors in much the same way the cloaking room is. Hopefully I get to play with that one too. On a more personal note, said Ferengi Ensign has invited the senior staff to a dinner in his quarters. This will be a potluck meal, as I believe the humans call it. I will bring a roasted Glornak and took sauce. Hopefully none of the staff are allergic to canines.
End log, I assume? Very
End
nice.
log.
And you may have one momentum for that brilliant opening log. It was actually really good. I not that I had any doubt. It's just always wonderful to hear from you. Really, all of you. But we're going to open our scene really right where we left off last episode. You've just come out of, well, you weren't even moving. The ship was, as far as you knew, at a complete stop. But one of the helm officers had actually requested that Commander Ajay, since the captain was indisposed at the time, to go ahead and come up to the bridge. You'd arrived at the bridge and you see what you see before you. It is a spiraling singularity. There is this beam of light. There's that black void where the center of the black hole, this singularity where light is no longer escaping. But at the same time, there's this pulse. It's like a pulsar of some kind. It's like sending out these blasts of light. And slowly, ever so slowly orbiting this singularity are two vessels that they appear to be just in the exact opposite from one another. There's a small Federation Type 2 shuttle, which the computer is picking up as being from somewhere around the time of the Cardassian War. And then there's this other unknown alien vessel, and every time the ship attempts to scan it, it attempts to get any sort of information. It's as though it can see the outline of this alien ship, but that there's nothing there. It's like a black void. It's very similar, as Lieutenant Commander Krev had mentioned, to the cloaking device in the center of the ship. But I'm going to leave the scene with you all, and what are you guys doing?
Well, now that she's got a better look at what is happening, Ajay's going to try and calm down to the captain again to give him that update she promised.
And it remind me, Captain, I believe the doors of the cloaking device room were still closed. Is that correct?
No, they're jammed open. Remember, I jammed
They're
a
jammed
wrench into
open.
them.
Excellent.
Yeah, we jammed him open with a wrench.
So as your comm badge gives a little chirp.
Great, so.
Captain, this is Ajay. Well, sir, I believe the singularity that we've found warrants at least some investigation, and I'd like your permission to let's start with some scans, I suppose. There are 2 ships orbiting it right now. One of them is a Federation shuttle from about the time of the Cardassian War. And unfortunately, I'm not familiar with the other vessel that is orbiting this singularity.
Interesting. Commander, you have the bridge, so make whatever choices you need to. Krev and I will be up as soon as we can.
Of course. Thank you, sir. Ajay out.
I'd actually like to stay, if we may, with the captain and Lieutenant Commander Krev. What exactly are you two doing in this moment?
Well, Krev, it sounds like there's something going on the bridge. You want to stay here? Or you want to come up to the bridge? Yeah, I thought so.
Go.
All right, I've jammed the door open, so you should still be able to have comms. If you get in any trouble, I mean, I guess I just won't hear from you. I want regular status reports.
Yep.
And then Tracer will, with a last look at the orb sitting in his ship, will head towards the turbo lift.
Excellent. And I'd like to pivot over to the cloaking core very quickly. And obviously the good captain has headed off back to the bridge. And Lieutenant Commander Krev, what are you doing? Are you running scans? Are you attempting to activate it, deactivate it? It's running currently.
Right now I'm running scans. I don't know enough about it to want to take it. Well, I take that back. I don't know enough about it to take it apart yet. The want is there, but I need to collect some more information before I actually start trying to see how it functions mechanically.
So I'm going to have you roll a first roll of the game. Woo! First roll of the game! He did that thing! I'm just kidding. All right. But with that being said, I'm going to have you roll the first roll of the game. I'd like you to roll a insight and engineering. And the difficulty on this is actually going to be a 4. This is a strange, almost alien piece of technology. It doesn't look like quite Federation. It doesn't look quite, well, any iteration at all. It is odd. It's almost old looking, like early 20th century Earth kind of style is what it looks like. Just the way it's designed, it feels not sleek, not modern, I suppose would be the phrase. And go ahead. You obviously have some momentum you could spend, but how do you want to address this?
Can I use my focus of improvisation?
Yeah, I think so. I like that.
Command
I
of
like that.
engineering. And then I have a talent of technical expertise. Whenever you attempt a task assisted by the ship's computers or sensors, you may re-roll 1d20, which may be the ship's die. Can I do that too?
So the ship, unfortunately, is not going to be able to assist you on this one.
Okay.
You're on your own inside of this chamber. You're on your own.
Okay. And I can't call for help because I'm not allowed to have any engineers in here. So that's, yeah, I'm gonna spend a momentum for a third D20.
Mhm.
Yikes.
Spend 3 for 4.
Okay, I'll spend 3 for 4. Hold on.
We got 3.
Let me restart it. Insight, engineering, submit. 40/20, submit, focus, yes, submit.
That is 4
Yeah.
successes, which is what you need. So you begin your scan, running your tricorder, perhaps even pacing around this strange white dome with these black, almost like tendril-like cords coming out of the side of it. And as you begin to scan, you know how the Intrepid class vessel has the bioneural gel packs on it. You're picking up very similar readings as a biogel those are hard to say. Bioneural gel packs. There it is. It's very similar to what a bioneural gel pack, but it's more complex. It's more. You might need to get the good doctor in here, but it looks less like engineering and more like DNA.
Bioengineering.
Yeah, it's very strange. And as you're doing this scan and you're picking up, it's a mixture of, bioengineering, and there is obviously some technology in it. But as you're doing a pace around, and there's a walkway that allows you to get around the entirety of this dome-shaped, mechanism, this piece of technology, you get to the backside, and for a brief moment, you hear a tink tink, as though something inside is knocking on it. And then for a brief moment, you hear a thump thump, thump thump, thump, like a very far off, muted kind of heartbeat. And it's so quick, it's so fast that maybe it's just the silence of this room, but this room is almost unnaturally quiet. It's like, again, it's cut off from the rest of the ship. You can hear the sounds from the doorway, you can hear other crew members moving around, but we're going to leave you there for the time being. And I'd like to pivot back up to the bridge of the Ragnar, where we've got the good doctor, or first officer, as it were, as well as Lieutenant Paris and Ensign Zed. We also have the helmsman, who seems to always be on duty. Always on duty. But what are you guys doing? What's the battle plan here?
Lieutenant? Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Okay.
all
Go
right.
ahead.
Well, Zed is at his station, and he would like to get the computer to search Starfleet records to compile a list of all missing Type 2 shuttles back from the Cardassian Wars, and see if maybe there were any strange disappearances or anything that might give him clues about about the nature of this shuttle.
You're going to roll an Insight Security. Difficulty on this is going to be a 3.
All right. Let's see.
If I may, Mr. DM, I would like to use Spirited Discovery to help out the group and give us some momentum
Absolutely.
with this awesome discovery we've made.
Yeah, I love it. Go for it.
Oh.
Absolutely.
So that gives us 3 momentum.
Okay.
So
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Done. You have
Cool.
3 momentum to spend as you see fit.
Excellent.
I love
And
it.
Zed has focuses of computers and investigation. Would any of
Oh,
those
investigation
apply?
100% would apply. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. 100%.
All right. So, let's see here.
I'm gonna make you an offer. Ensign
Yes.
said. I'm gonna make you an
Mhm.
offer. You can go for the basic information, a quick skim. Difficulty will be a
Mhm.
3. Or you can go for the meat and potatoes, and it would be a difficulty of 5.
Oh, meat and potatoes sounds
It
good.
does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just curious as to how intense Zed is looking into this information. That's what I want
Well-
to know.
Well, Zed feels like he messed up the last 2 times he was in a situation like this. He really, really wants a win.
Here's the caveat: you go for the 5 and you fail, something bad might happen.
Let's do it.
Ah, I love it!
Yeah.
Spirit of discovery, adventure. All right. So you're only gonna roll 2 dice on this one?
Oh wait, is that
You get a third one at least if you use the momentum.
Oh.
And a
You can get
4th
the 2.
if he uses the momentum.
I would
Yes,
assume.
that's right.
I would encourage you to use all 3. Would be
Yeah,
my
use all 3, man.
encouragement. Yeah.
So should I just re-roll it?
Yeah, you
or
can
roll-
re-roll the
yeah.
whole thing. Yep.
And so
you
this time
would have a
with-
focus. Yep. So you do 40-20, and then when it asks you with a focus, you're doing insight security, and when it asks you if you have a focus, you say yes.
All right. Insight. Security.
Now, cool, interesting teaching moment. You've
Mhm.
spent 3 momentum. All right. You could, if you want, give me 3 threat to roll an additional d20. Roll 5 d20. You can always give the game master threat if you'd like.
What does everyone think?
Hey, this is your choice.
Let's just stick with the 4.
All right, all right. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Extra
yeah.
die. You know, it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
DC5. I'm just
For
saying
now-
the GM maybe wants some more
Yes.
threat. I don't know. It's the thing.
For now, I will just stick to this.
That is only 3 successes.
Mhm.
That is only 3 successes. And as I mentioned, there was going to be maybe something bad. So,
Mhm.
Ensign Zed, you are trying to start to scan the shuttle, look for any sort of records, anything in the past. And what's interesting, and maybe even slightly disconcerting, is that you find no records of this vessel. In fact, any records from when this vessel would have assumably been in operation, they're just gone. They're not even present. They are missing. It's as though this vessel was either purposefully deleted, which you don't know, or never existed in the first place.
Mhm. Commander Ajay,
Yes, Ensign?
I've searched the database in an attempt to match this shuttle with any missing Type 2 shuttles, but there is absolutely no information there on it. It's as if this shuttlecraft never existed. Either that or someone erased them from the Starfleet databases.
Well, given that it's all the way out here in the Shackleton Expanse. Lieutenant Paris, would you mind scanning the 2 vessels out there?
Yes, Doc. So yeah, Paris will try to use well, sorry, we'll try to scan the first shuttlecraft and then the big boy.
Control science, difficulty of 2 on both checks.
All right, so difficulty of 2. So I'll give for the first one, I'll give you a threat. So make that 3 dice.
Okay.
With my bold, I can reroll.
I like it. I like it.
Control science, and with small craft as a focus for the shuttlecraft. Is that?
I'll allow it. It's a bit of a stretch, but I'll allow it. I like it. That is a waiting for you to roll. All right.
Yes.
Ooh, that's 2 momentum back to the party. Very good.
Yes.
Very good. Very, very good. What's 2 things are gonna happen. 2 things are gonna happen. You pick up that this shuttlecraft, this vessel, it's registered to a ship that in the database, very similar to what Ensign Zed had picked up, is not, it doesn't seem to exist. The computer's not picking it up. But it's registered to a ship, and the ship that it is registered to is the Shivani Mani. The Shivani Mani. That's SHIVANI is the name of the ship. And the computer translates that name. It's the USS Shivani Mani. And the computer then translates that name to Life and Death is the name of that vessel. And you also pick up with that scan 2 life signs. One very, very weak, likely on the brink of death, and another that appears to be stable, but it's very subtle. It's interesting. This life sign that you're picking up for this vessel. It's kind of there for a moment, and then it kind of phases out, and then it gets there. It's very intermittent, this life signal that you're picking up. But the other one, the 2 life signals, signatures you're picking up, one appears to be on the brink of death, critical condition.
Sorry. Doc, I'm picking up life signs on the shuttle. One is intermittent and doesn't seem stable.
All right. And the other vessel?
Scanning right now, ma'am.
Thank you.
This time, I don't have a focus, I think, that applies, but I will
That is correct,
give you
Captain.
give
Thank
you
you.
3 threat, good sir.
Oh, all right.
So I really want to scan that ship.
Cool. So as you go to scan that ship, that 3 threat you gave me and the other threat that you gave me earlier, I'll spend all of it to increase the difficulty of this check to a 5. Have at it.
We still have those 2 new moment. Oh,
Yeah, but he's already spent 3. We don't have enough. We'd have to give him one more.
And
boy.
that is an
Oops.
interesting roll. I see a 0 in there.
Yeah,
I
he
see
can re-roll it.
complication.
He can re-roll it.
I
Because
can
he's got
re-roll it,
Hughes
Master.
full.
that's right. Yep.
Go for
Yep.
it. Go for it. All right, let's see what. Maybe it'll be a critical success. Maybe it'll be a critical success. We'll see what happens.
The only way this wins, yeah.
I believe. I believe.
I believe.
Oh, it's a 0, but it's not a crit failure. So, as I described earlier, you scan with the ship sensors. Why don't you go ahead and roll the ship sensors as well? Sensor science. The ship, Captain, if you want to grab that for him, because the ship can assist. Because maybe that'll still get you a success.
Sorry, what was that? Stress sensors?
It would
Security?
be science, sensor science or science sensors.
Sensor science.
Yeah, sensor science. Yeah. Excuse me.
Ooh, not quite.
Oh, that gets you to 4, unfortunately. But so what happens, Lieutenant Paris, is you begin your scan of the vessel, and you're picking up the outlines of an object there, and you can see it through the view screen of the Ragnar's bridge. You can see a vessel there, but the only thing you're picking up is a slight amount of biomass, unknown. Again, very similar to the other life sign that was kind of coming in and then out and then in and out, almost as though you're picking it up, but something's maybe interfering with it. But you're not picking up anything inside. It is like it is a black void in the middle of space, which is strange because space is primarily a void. So you don't pick up anything else. However, you do have 1 free question as the Chief Science Officer that you could ask me if you so choose.
I'll hold it for now.
I like it. I like where your mind's at. That's smart. You'll probably need it later. But I digress. What else would you guys like to do?
Do we think that it would be possible to beam the life signs off of the shuttle, or is there interference with the anomaly in front of us?
Based on all of the scans and the readings that you've done so far, transporters would be extremely risky. And when I say extremely risky, there's a good chance that if you beamed there, you would be lost. If you tried to beam someone out, they would be lost. Way too much
and what if-
gravitational chronoton interference. You're picking up a significant amount of chronoton energy from this singularity. You're picking up, just a lot of just random amounts of just different and various energies, but the primary one is this chronoton energy. You're picking up standard radiation, you're picking up photons, you're picking up almost like these strange disturbances as though subspace itself is being distorted. This isn't normal. Black holes are
Right.
strange anyway, but this is not normal. This is it's like a white hole or something. It's weird.
And what about tractor beams?
You know what? It's possible. In fact, you could roll a check to see if that might work. Maybe run the numbers. It'd be a difficulty of 3. It would be a security. So tractor beams are actually a security task. It would be control security, difficulty of 3. And at this point, I think it would be a good time for the captain to arrive on the bridge as well.
All right. Status report, Commander.
Yes, Captain. Ensign Zed ran the shuttle through the computers and found no trace of it whatsoever. As for any other information, it's impossible to read either vessel, according to Lieutenant Paris, but there are 2 life forms on the shuttle, one of which is in critical condition.
I don't know if it's the anomaly or the biomass that I'm reading on both ship, but I am reading life signs on the shuttlecraft. One is very unstable and is in and out, while the other ship, although we can see it, the scans said there's nothing there. I'm at a loss, Captain.
According to my projections, Captain, the transporters would be ineffective in either sending some of our crew there or retrieving the 2 life signs there. I am attempting to look into the possibility of using the tractor beam.
All right.
Would shipboard
Um,
tactical systems count as a focus?
Well, yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, the tractor beam is tactical.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that would be control and security, you
Yes,
said?
sir. You got it with a focus.
And 3 dice?
You roll
that
normally
what the
roll
focus
2.
is?
If you want,
2?
focus allows you to say yes, but if you roll underneath the your second stat, you then get a critical success. So if it's a 3 and you roll a 3, 2, or 1, you get 2 successes versus just the 1. Normally, you only get a critical success on a roll of 1 on the d20. So for this situation, you'd be normally rolling a 2. If you want to spend a momentum or give me a threat, you can roll an additional die as well.
Let's go ahead and give you a threat.
I love where your mind's at.
Why?
And,
We have
if
momentum to spend. Why would you give him threat?
we have momentum.
Too late. You already said it. It's fine. I've added it. No, it's fine. You can spend the momentum if you want. I don't care.
Yeah. Let's see what we have.
I will also try and assist and help with the targeting to help you see if you can get a better targeting lock on the shuttle.
Maybe to try to find some semblance of like imagine there's these gravitational waves and forces. You're trying to find like a pathway through those waves using the sensors. Does that sound accurate?
Sounds pretty accurate. Yes.
Chart the black hole. I'm charting these waters, Captain. Rotate.
So the ship is helping with a sensor security then?
Absolutely. Difficulty of 3 on this one.
Control.
Ship did not help.
Science. And 1 die for support. So success support.
Very nice. That's 1 success. You only need 2 successes. Ensign said.
Oh, so did I get 1 success?
Oh, you only got 1 success.
did.
So you guys are currently
Yeah.
failing. All right.
Right,
You are currently
yeah.
failing on this.
I thought it was a difficulty 2.
Oh, sorry. Difficulty 2. I thought in my head I had 3. My
Right,
bad. I'm just
yes.
trying to screw you guys over. Damn it.
Mm,
You're too
Damn
tricky.
it.
Listen
Oh,
to me.
there we go.
Ah, there it is. GM admits his secret agenda the whole time. But so what you realize is that trying to use the tractor beams, it could work, but there's a 50-50 chance you could draw that shuttle out of the gravitational forces. Because again, it is both that ship and this alien unknown void kind of ship over there that's covered in this weird, strange green moss. Again, part of the shuttle that you're reading is also covered in this weird green and red kind of like, it almost looks like it's moving a little bit as well, like over these 2 vessels. But you realize it's a 50-50. You could drag the ship out, or you yourself could get stuck right on the edge of the event horizon. So it's risky either way.
Then we'll immediately relay that.
Are there any other options? Also, what is that crawling all over those hulls? Anybody?
Excellent question, Captain.
Also, Helm, just don't ask me how I know this, and this is on a need-to-know basis, so I won't tell you any more information. Heads up, the ship is cloaked.
And everyone kind of looks back at the captain, looks forward, and you realize you don't see out the view screen. You don't actually see the ship. There's just this like kind of like light shimmering in space, as though it's just slightly distorted. And everyone looks back at you, and they're like, "We know, Captain. We noticed that when we. Well, thank you, sir.
Well, it's just like I know why it's happening. It's not a phenomena of the region we're in. So discard that in your problem solving.
Knowledges, acknowledgments, nods of heads. Perfect.
Lieutenant Paris, was your sensor sweep ever able to ascertain any information about the green moss upon the ships?
That was my next course of action, trying to ascertain what it is more in detail. So
Just
yes.
use your science question.
Can I ask the question without each one? So DM, what is the green moss on the ships, or can I identify it?
So that's a great use of your chief science officer question. I like that. It appears to be like a writhing mass of single-celled organisms. And it appears to be living, but you've never seen anything like it. It doesn't appear to be like truly consuming the ships, but the green kind of writhing mass aboard the Type 2 shuttle, that writhing kind of mass, there appears to be a portion of it that is over the front, the cockpit of the Type 2 shuttle, and they have the view screen there, the windows, and you see that there's a small part there with your scans that appears to be like solid and black, but the rest is all writhing around. So it is some kind of space algae. I think Drill said it the best way. It looks like space algae is what you're picking up. Yeah. And it appears to be slowly eating the metal of the Type 2 shuttle. It's a very, very slow process.
Captain, whatever it is, it's eating the shuttle.
Well, we don't want it on our hull then.
No.
Well, options,
which,
people. Should we open hailing frequencies? Sorry, Captain, Commander. Go ahead.
I suggest that if that is truly eating the metal, we possibly rethink the tractor beam solution that Ensign Zed came up with,
Agreed.
because that will just bring it close enough to jump to our ship. As for hailing frequencies, sir, I certainly don't see an issue with trying, but I think we have to be prepared that all of this, everything else that's been interfering with our sensors will likely interfere with the hailing frequencies.
It'll also cancel out our advantage of surprise.
As for other options, everything else I can think of would put our ship in range of getting that algae onto the Ragnar. For example, sending a small craft over of our own, especially if we don't want to risk the transporters.
Could we possibly retrofit a drone with pattern enhancers and send it closer to the in close proximity of the shuttle? Therefore, maybe it would strengthen our transporter signal and allow us to beam them off.
They'd have to get really close to that shuttlecraft, which is essentially, and are drones powerful enough to establish a perimeter without being sucked into the event horizon?
That is a good question, Captain.
We do have, in theory, you do have Type 5 probes that are meant to go through these anomalies, sir.
Well, I'm not naysaying. If you think it's possible, then show me a plan.
I'll make my calculations now, Captain.
And with that, I'd like to pivot back down to the room where Lieutenant Commander Krev is still poking around. And Lieutenant Commander Krev, you just heard that noise, and I'm curious as to how do you respond to those noises you heard or think you heard.
There we go. So they're coming from the inside the the sphere thing.
Maybe. You think so?
So it seems to be so. And about how far away is the sphere thing from the catwalk?
You've got about like a 2 foot distance. I mean, you could reach out and touch it if you wanted to.
Okay. When I hear the so it was like a kind of clanging sound and then
Yeah.
a heartbeat.
Yep.
When I hear the clanging sound, I kind of give a thought and then I'll reach over and like dink 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 with my tricorder against the edge of the sphere.
The room gets really, really cold. And when I say cold, Karev, you are tink tink tinking, and you start to kind of breathe. And as you let out a breath, you see your breath actually frosts in front of you, and you see tiny little icicles and little like crisscrossing cold start to appear on this dome, this cloaking device dome. And from the computer, which is an old, again, it was like a green screen, almost Fallout style computer, the control of this thing, you start to see the color changes from green to red. You can't see it from where you're standing, but it is kind of flashing. It
I go back over
illuminates
to the
room. You know, there's this whitish kind of like grayish dome. The whole room is now illuminating this kind of like deep red tone.
I go over to the control screen.
And as you look at the control screen, there is simply one word in the center of the screen in red. Help. And it's just kind of blinking there. All caps.
Hold on.
Bodes poorly.
Haha.
You type into the screen. As you begin to type, the help disappears and it returns to a green. And you type the question, are you inside the sphere? There is a response. You see the little like blinking. You see the words begin to type no. Clicking of the keyboard, this old mechanical styled keyboard. Then where are you? There's another response. ... Outside.
Oh, the white rabbit.
Continues to type. ... Yes.
Shit.
And with that, we're going to pivot back to the bridge. However, Lieutenant Commander Krev, I believe you're about to tap your comm badge. Go ahead and tap
Yeah.
that comm badge.
So Krev taps his comm badge. Captain.
Tracer here. What's up?
I'm getting a message from the shuttlecraft on the command screen of the cloaking. Of the thing that we don't talk about.
Okay.
There's somebody asking for help.
Aboard the shuttlecraft?
So aboard the shuttlecraft, yeah. So you guys might want to do something about that. Krev out. Think.
As Krev says that, and simultaneously as everything that happened back in the cloaking devices room, there is a power signature that activates. So you know how the alien vessel, it appeared to be just a black void? You're now picking up a power signal, Lieutenant Paris, from the very center of that ship, the very center of that ship where there is like the black void, but you're picking up what appears to be a very faint warp core signature. And it's interesting.
Captain, whatever is going on, the alien ship is reacting and it seems to be activating. I'm detecting a warp core signature.
I'm also going to give
Okay.
this to you for free as well, if I may, just to add. It's Federation warp core signature as well.
But it's Federation?
Okay, guys, give me an idea how hard transporters are, because I'm really good with transporters.
I believe Ensign Zed's conclusion was that it was incredibly likely that we would lose anyone we tried to transport.
That is correct.
However, if the drones work, I would certainly recommend we do that now.
Even if they are, all right, in which case, Zed, correct me if I'm wrong, even if we can't maintain a pattern enhancement, we should be able to at least establish one for a moment.
My calculations say that there's a high probability that any pattern beamed over there would be lost irrevocably.
Oh no, I'm talking about beaming something off.
The same. Isn't that
But
correct?
with the pattern buffer, we might be able to, or with the buff and the transport enhancers.
Yeah.
We've got a shot.
In theory, it would strengthen the transport beam.
All right, I'll be down in the transporter room. Commander, you've got the bridge. Notify me when it's time. Papa's
Captain,
got some playing to do.
At least let me send some medical officers down with you, given what we've ascertained about the life signs.
As Chief Medical Officer, you might as well come with me. Paris, you've got the bridge.
Yes, sir.
All right. As Paris gets up to walk around to the chair, Zed gives him a look like, in awe.
Oh.
It's like, he's like, it's just reinforcing everything he's thinking about Paris.
I love it.
How awesome you are.
I love it. I love it. That is fantastic. So just so that I understand what we're doing, we've got who's going to be sending the probe in an attempt to assist. Because I think the way we're going to do this, and you can argue otherwise, but the way that I have it in my mind is that someone's going to launch the probe. That's going to be their assist, okay, on this check. And then someone's going to make the check to actually do the transport. And then we can also have someone else attempt to assist as well. I'll let two people assist on this. That other person assisting could just be the ship, if you want. Could be the ship as well. So it's up to you guys.
Krev also has a focus in transporters and replicators, so if you need him, you might want to call.
I for sure will be sending the probe. So yeah, I'll be assisting with the probe.
On the way down, Captain Tracel's is going to stop at a one of the cargo bays for the industrial replicator and replicate the part that he invented for transports that makes transports better. It's not standard issue yet, but he can make one and then install it.
Perfect. Awesome. I love
it.
Basically create an advantage is what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Well, really what I want to do is then be able to use my focus for experimental technology.
Yeah. So if you want to give me a momentum to replicate this part and create an advantage, that will help lower the difficulty of the check, which is going to be very hard. But I'll let you lower the difficulty of the check by 1. Because it's going to be a difficulty 6 check. Normally 5 is the max. This is going to be a 6. Like, this is not easy. But you can lower that to a 5 by doing that if you want to give me momentum. Perfect. Okay, so you've got the captain and the good doctor heading down to the transporter room. We've got Ensign Zed, Lieutenant Paris still on the bridge. Lieutenant Paris has the con, which is fantastic. We've got
Ensign Zed is going to notify Krev of the current plan. Of what we're going to try with the probes and the transporters, just so Chief of Engineering is made aware of that if he wishes to assist.
Very good. Very good.
Acknowledged. Cap's probably the best on transporters. I'll see if they have anything working on their shuttlecraft that might be able to assist in the transport.
Thank you, Commander.
So here's what we're gonna do, Captain. You're gonna be making
Hmm?
a control security. Okay.
Uh,
Difficulty on this
could I
is a
argue?
5.
Could I argue with it that it's a control engineering task
I'll allow it.
because I'm a
I'll
okay.
allow it. I'll allow it. Yes, yes, yes. Because you're installing your experimental part. So normally the difficulty is a 6. You've done the advantage. It's lowered the difficulty to a 5. Who wants to assist? Lieutenant Paris is going to be sending out the probe. What focuses do you have, Lieutenant Paris? I want to see if you can give yourself a focus on this one.
I will be compensating with the astro. I can't say the word, but
Astrometrics?
Astrometrics.
Okay.
we are using my astrophysics.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
Should be my focus for that one die.
Okay. I love it. That's perfect. Okay, so we got a focus there. And then who else is going to be assisting on this check?
Krev is trying to contact the shuttle to see if they have any working systems that might be able to help boost the transporter signal.
Now, are you reaching out to the shuttle itself or the occupants of the shuttle?
I am I guess I would type in the chat the chat I have with the shuttle. Like, do you have any working systems?
So that chat that you were having, it's no longer present. You type and it doesn't actually do anything. It's just like the on and off switch for the cloaking device. That's all you see.
Okay. That is strange. Okay. Krev will actually go out into the corridor and activate an engineering panel and try and redirect some sort of blah 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 to the hold on, I have a technobabble for that. Reconfigure the oscillating pulse sustainer of the
Transporter system?
pattern buffer.
I like it. That's good. That was really good. Very well. Very good technobabble. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Okay, so that's everybody that's assisting. The good captain is going to be making the primary check, and I am going to spend some threat here. I've got quite a bit. You guys have been throwing at me like hotcakes, and I appreciate it. The complication is that there is a massive burst of energy from the center of this anomaly, this pulsar, this singularity. And there is a ripple. You see that there is this kind of cloud of swirling gases and debris around here. And you actually see as this pulse of energy comes out, you start to see all of these tiny bits, as I mentioned, of debris. And the scanners, the ship's sensors, start to pick up bits and pieces of Cardassian, Federation, Klingon, all of these different types, but it's like pieces of ships that appear to be flooding out from the center of this anomaly. And they are now flying towards both the Ragnar as well as the 2 ships orbiting the anomaly as well. So time is of the essence.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to use my determination. And since you gave me so many people assisting, this will be, I'll tap a captain is only as good as the crew he leads value.
Love it.
To get the 2 automatic successes.
Okay.
I'm going to spend our momentum.
So you're rolling 2 dice. You got 2 successes. You're rolling 2 dice
Yep,
now.
I'm going to spend our momentum and give you 2 threat to get 2 extra dice.
Absolutely love it.
Sorry, and get to roll 3 dice, so that essentially I can roll 3 dice and I've already got the 1.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you 2 additional threat to engage my transporter chief talent, which means that I reduce the difficulty by 2. So now it's only a difficulty 3.
Oh! This guy.
This guy.
It's pretty good. Wow! Blew it out of the park. So correct me if I'm wrong. That is 7 successes? No, it's 6 successes. 7 successes.
It's 7 with the assist, and then whatever
Krev gets.
Krev rolls.
Control
I'm
also
going to spend a determination to use my to use my value of every problem has a solution.
Okay, so just give yourself an automatic crit on that on that roll. Okay, perfect.
So
good.
what was the roll for it?
You don't have to.
You don't have to roll.
You don't
just
have to
get
roll.
an automatic crit because you spent your determination. So
okay, awesome.
That's
like
8 successes.
Like an artist painting their masterpiece, like a Picasso It is brilliant. It is artwork, just chef's kiss.
Yeah.
You watch as this probe gets sent out by Lieutenant Paris. There's a you watch, flies towards the vessel, and you see it's kind of shaking and rocking back and forth, hitting the gravitational waves as though it is like some sort of surfer on the waves in the ocean. It's just like bouncing around, but then it starts to steady itself, and you're actually manually flying it, Lieutenant Paris, and it's rough, and you're trying to kind of guide, and instead of fighting the waves, you actually start to use them. And it's kind of like, again, surfing along these gravitational forces, dodging debris as it comes through. And you watch as it gets closer and closer and closer. And Captain, you're watching, you're waiting, you're looking at the pattern buffers. You're trying to make sure that you're not going too soon or not going too fast, because you're going to get one shot at this. This probe is going to fly by, and by the time it gets to where it's going to be close enough to have this work, it's likely going to get sucked in and then completely destroyed by the force of this anomaly, this gravitational singularity. But as this happens, Karev, you're over there. You start to pump just additional power. You actually watch, Captain, as the power of the transporters goes from like 100 to 150 to close to 200%. And you're like, you probably realize, like, goddamn, Karev, good man. But you then, like an artist, you get a lock on 2 life signs. One of them is human. One of them is Andorian. And you have a full lock on both of them. However, they both appear to be in very, very critical condition. Very, very critical condition. So they're going to need medical aid right away. But you watch.
I'd like to spend 3 of these determination to immediately yell, I'll see you in sickbay to Ajay, and then I'm going to redirect the transport
to
to
sickbay?
take Ajay and the 2 life signs all to sickbay.
Yeah, because you guys are like pretty much captain of momentum at this point. So if you want to do that, that's perfect. So Ajay, you're like, and then you...
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah. And Zed has been hovering over the operations panel. As soon as he sees that the transport is finished, he's gonna raise the shields immediately to protect against the flying debris.
You watch as that
in.
shuttle, a second after you see that the transport has been successful, a massive, like, chunk of a Klingon bird of prey, like the front part with that giant nobule on the front, crashes into it and it explodes, spins, and then is sucked directly into and towards the center of the anomaly. So it was just in the nick of time. However, as you raise the shields, you also pick up an engine signature. And you watch as that strange alien ship that has this Federation warp signature begins to pivot and engage very quickly towards the Ragnar. But with that being said, we're actually going to pivot down to the medical bay. We're going to pivot down to the medical bay. And let me grab this. I can't beat you guys. I try so hard. I want to make it so difficult for you guys. And let's see here. We've got our Ensign Z is not there. We've got the nurse, who is once again sitting in the main table there and pretending to be the chief medical officer. But Commander Ajay, as you appear in the medical bay, you see on 2 beds, there's not 2 humanoids. There's not an Andorian and a human. You see these, they look like cocoons, for lack of a better term. They look like these strange, dark green, reddish kind of vininess cocoons. And they're humanoid in shape, as though these cocoons had like grown around whoever's inside. And if you take out your tricorder and scan, you are picking up life signs inside, these Andorian and humanoid life signs, but they're inside. They're stuck inside of these strange cocoons. And I'm curious how you address that situation.
Ajay to medical personnel on duty. Medical emergency, sick bay. And then with backup coming, she's going to use her tricorder to scan the cocoons and see if cutting into them will hurt the people inside.
Fantastic. That's going to be a reason and medicine. Difficulty of
Yeah.
2 on this. Difficulty of 2.
Focus. Can I use focus triage?
Yeah, I'll allow it. That sounds good. I like it. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. That is a success.
2
So here's the
successes.
information you pick up, Commander Ajay. Both life signs inside appear, unlike the scans when they were on the other ship, they actually appear to be stable in this moment. And as you watch these 2 cocoons, you realize that the cocoons themselves appear to be some sort of biomass, some sort of, almost like it's an organism that is surrounding these 2 humanoids, this human and this Andorian. And you watch as the cocoons themselves, as you're scanning, appear to be starting to crystallize and harden. And you actually realize that they appear to be reacting negatively to the oxygen in the air of the medical bay. Like they're starting to react. And you watch as the crystalline, this kind of like cracking kind of like energy, like not energy, this cracking kind of formation as these cocoons almost seem to be dying, is what you're picking up, as though they're alive and they're starting to die. It's not quick, but it's a slow process that's starting to quicken. And you realize that the bodies inside are also reacting to the cocoons starting to die. It's as though they are perhaps tied together, is what you're picking up. But if you act quickly, you may be able to separate them. Separate the human and Andorian from inside.
Yeah. So as hopefully backup is arriving, I'm going to direct one team to work on one cocoon and the other team to work on the other cocoon to try and get these separated.
I love it.
And if possible, I would also like to take a sample of one of the cocoons and put it in like an oxygen-free container.
All right. So I have a lot of threat. And
Yeah.
I'm going to introduce a complication to the scene. You run the numbers, you run the figures, and you realize you only have enough time to save one of them. Despite how quickly you work, despite how fast and how good your medical team is, the supplies, the gear needed, you only have enough to rescue one of them. Who do you choose?
Engage the emergency medical hologram. Is that what that is?
Yeah, we have one. Why don't we
That's
just
true.
have an emergency medical team that can
Yeah,
do the other one?
I made the EMH.
That's right. We do have the EMH.
You're welcome.
Forgot about that. Thank you. If I engage the EMH, do you think we've got enough to save both of them, Mr. GM?
You know what? Sure.
He's so mad at us right now.
You one day, and your little Andorian are human too.
Lives have been saved.
Yep.
Please state the nature
Yep.
of the medical emergency.
Please.
The EMH is activated, and this is like a Mark IV. It's a good version. It's maybe even a better doctor than you, Dr. Ajay, Commander Ajay. Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Certainly wearing less hats.
I did my best when I made him.
I like it.
Thank you.
I like it.
It's appreciated.
I like it. He activates, breaks out a medical tricorder instantaneously, begins to scan. I see the problem. Not enough hands. Well, I'm here to help. And he's going to move over and then stops, looks up to you. Doctor, which one should I focus on?
You take the human, I'll take the Andorian.
Right on. And he is going to say, all right, team, let's get to work. Time to save lives. And he's going to pivot down and begin the process. Now, this is actually going to be what we call an extended task. This is going to be an extended task. And extended tasks are kind of cool. They are a series of checks that you're going to make. And you have to get a certain amount of progress on the tasks. Now, extended tasks have a couple of different aspects to them. There's a resistance. So basically, you know, if you roll, there's like a difficulty. So you have like a difficulty you have to make. It then also has resistance. Okay. And then it also has I'm trying to remember the term. It's been a hot second for me, so forgive me. I should know this. But it's it's like a threshold, I believe is the term for it. I'm probably getting that wrong. So forgive me. Resistance. There's the actual difficulty check on it, and then there's one other term for it, and I'm having a mental block.
Breakthroughs.
The breakthroughs, yes. You start to get breakthroughs, which actually gives you progress to actually complete the task, okay? Now, the amount of progress you need to make to save the life of this Andorian that you're going to be working on is going to be 15. You're only going to get 3 tries to do this. So you've got to get 15 total progress, okay? And then the way you roll progress is every time you can make a check, which is going to be a control medicine, you will have a focus because of, you know, alien, I believe, xenobiology. But every time you make a success, the number of successes you get over and above the difficulty of the check, you get to roll a certain number of challenge dice. And the numbers you roll on those challenge dice is going to give you how much progress you make in the surgery that you're performing. This is all making sense so far. Okay, so let me get this typed out. So the DC on this is going to be a 3 is the difficulty that you're going to have to start with. That's to begin the surgery, okay? It's going to have resistance. The resistance on this is going to be a 2. And then we've got the breakthroughs needed. And then breakthroughs. Okay, you're going to need a total, you get 3 tries. 3 tries on this, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to roll a check. You've got to get a control medicine. It's a DC 3. If you get the 3 successes, you get to roll, you know, 5 challenge dice to try to make progress. Any additional successes over that is going to give you additional challenge dice to roll to make progress. Is this all making sense?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. All right,
Okay.
so go ahead and do that. And then the EMH is going to be doing the same thing over on his side as well. And I'll be rolling those checks in the background, but I would like to focus on your surgery. Now, again, to describe this, it is like a cocoon, very similar to the image you see on the screen. It's all kind of scrunched up with itself there. And it actually has a little antenna, like the Andorian antenna, all right? And it's like sitting there. And it moves ever so slightly as though whoever's inside is kind of like making like movements and almost trying to break free, and you can see and you watch as the cocoon is almost like it's breathing, but again it's starting to harden and die, and as it does so, your medical tricorder is picking up that the life sign inside is getting weaker and weaker and weaker. But let's go ahead and make that first control medicine.
Okay.
Difficulty of 3.
So 3 exactly.
All right, very good. So that is going to give you 5 challenge dice to roll and see how much progress you make.
Okay, so
Now,
where
it
do I
does have
find-
resistance. Resistance means that when you roll to make progress, the first 2 like progress you make is negated, but you can spend a momentum to remove the resistance if you so choose.
Don't forget to check your talents. Some of them have like effects on extended tasks and stuff.
Mine
And
don't. No.
It's 2 resistance per momentum spend, right? So if the
Correct.
resistance were higher, we'd have to spend more than 1 momentum.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Where do I find the challenge dice on this
There is
sheet?
there's a
There's a
macro
widget.
roller.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a
there
macro
it is.
roller.
I get 5.
6. That is 6 progress. And do you want to spend a momentum to remove the 2 resistance?
Considering we need 3 breakthroughs and you need did I hear 15 total?
15
Yeah.
total
Each
progress.
breakthrough?
Yes.
Oh. 15 to make a breakthrough.
Yeah.
You need 15 total
No.
to complete the task. You only need
Right.
5 to
Yeah.
make a breakthrough.
Okay, in which case so my recommendation is that you should spend the momentum because then you'll get the
Okay.
5 progress, which will give
Yep.
you a breakthrough.
Then I'll do that.
Okay. So great news. You make 6 progress. You're cutting it open. You actually see the Andorian's blue skin. You actually start to like remove it from the arm. You see the hand kind of like move, and as you start to cut it open, it reveals a Starfleet uniform, very similar to the Starfleet uniform that I'm wearing, actually. All right, very, very similar. It appears to be from your time, maybe. But as you start to cut up, you watch as the uniform almost seems to like change and starts to look older. It's as though it's almost like it's patchwork as you're starting to cut open this cocoon. It's I guess it's very strange is the way I would put it. But your difficulty on every check is now only a 2. Resistance goes down to 1, and you've got 2 additional breakthroughs that you can make moving forward. You only need another 9 progress. Control medicine.
Yep.
Ooh.
I'm going to. This would be an appropriate moment to use determination, right? That would.
You know what?
Or
You
not.
could use determination to re-roll the check. You absolutely could. Yep.
Okay.
Or you could wait, use your final check to use determination, get 2 automatic successes, and then just roll your dice and try to go for all the marbles on that last check.
Yeah, but we also still have 1 momentum left, so I can roll a third die next time too, right? So I think I'll just use the momentum, the determination now
Okay.
with it's many hands make light work value.
Perfect. Yeah, so you want to re-roll that die? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can re-roll both or one of them. It's up to you.
I'm gonna re-roll both of them.
Okay, perfect. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm scared.
Don't know that I want to hear that from you.
Oh god, okay, you got it. Okay,
Oh.
good. Now you can roll an additional 5 challenge dice.
Mm-hmm.
So you get 3 additional progress. So now you're up to 9 progress, but you still need another 6 to complete the task. And
Why we need 2 breakthroughs?
You did not make a breakthrough. So the difficulty's still going to be 2 difficulty, 1 resistance, and you only have 1 more check because the life sign inside this Andorian, it's starting to go critical.
Yeah.
You're starting to hear that beep 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 beep. And while you think about how you'd like to handle this last check, we're going to pivot back to the bridge, actually. 'Cause I'd like to see what's happening over there. Because, Lieutenant Paris, you are currently in command of the Ragnar. You've got a couple of, junior officers on the bridge. I'm assuming you probably moved over to the captain's chair. You're looking pretty good. It feels good. It's nice. It's like a Italian leather. It's got like air conditioning on it. You can push a little button.
I'm standing. I'm not
good.
sitting.
It feels good. Yeah.
I'm not
it's like
sitting.
very powerful air conditioning from the
It looks super comfortable.
It's very
I'm
nice.
sure it's very.
But you watch as this alien vessel has engaged its engines, and the engines, they're like nothing you've ever seen. It is spitting out like it almost looks similar to this like weird pulse of energy coming out of the center of this anomaly, and it is coming towards you. You've got about 3 minutes before it hits the Ragnar.
First off,
Lieutenant Paris, alien vessel appears to be moving to engage us.
All right, so yellow alert. Get me hail that ship, Zed.
Yellow alert activated. Hailing ship now.
Okay.
Alien vessel, this is Lieutenant Paris of the USS Ragnar. Please identify yourself.
The ship speeds up. It gets closer and closer and closer. And based on the scans you have, it's on a collision course.
Its velocity is increasing.
Lieutenant, evasive maneuvers get us out of its path.
And that, my friends, is where I'm going to spend some threat. As the enemy vessel, you watch as a tractor beam is activated, and it locks on to the Ragnar, holding it in place, and the ship gets closer and closer and closer.
What does it see?
What are you guys
With
gonna
our
do?
cloak?
Yeah.
It's interesting, right? You're cloaked, and it still saw you and grabbed onto you. That's probably not disconcerting.
Ooh.
That's totally normal, right?
Lieutenant, I recommend that we fire phasers at their tractor beam emitter.
Remodulate our shields. We don't want to start an incident here. See if we can just dislodge the tractor beam.
Yes, Lieutenant.
Captain, the alien vessel has come into range, as you probably felt. It's now has us in the tractor beam.
Okay.
Zed is attempting to. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I didn't have anything further.
Yeah. Zed is attempting to remodulate the shield resonance in order to
Control security, difficulty of 2. What are your focuses?
I do have shipboard's
That
tactical
would
systems.
absolutely give you a focus, 100%.
Okay. All right.
And
And should I use any momentum, you think? Do you guys think?
Yeah. We've got
Yes,
one.
please.
Why not?
Mm-hmm. So how many should I use?
3
We have one.
D20 then. You have 1 momentum. you can
We
use
only
for
had
D20.
one, so
Okay.
we've already spent 1. You're going to spend 3. Feel free to give him some threat if you want to get a 4th dice speed.
All right. So is this control and
Control security, difficulty
So
of 2.
control
And if
security.
you give me 2 additional threat, you can roll 4 dice.
what do you guys think about the threat? He lured me in last time.
I mean,
It's up to you.
it's up to you.
It's your roll.
Let's see.
Do it!
The
Excuse
captain
me.
was originally headed for sickbay, and instead he's going to turn to find the nearest turbolift to head to the bridge.
Perfect.
Well, threat is fun. So yes, we'll give you a threat.
I'm going to spend that 2 threat to increase the difficulty to a 2. 3. Excuse me.
And
Difficulty's now a 3.
Foiled again.
Oh, success! So there is this shuddering as this alien tractor beam, which looks like not like a standard, that blue kind of shimmering tractor beam. It almost looks like this reddish greenish mist that comes out and locks onto the ship, as though it's literally like a hand reaching out to grab onto the Ragnar. And you watch as the shimmering of the shields, you remodulate it, matching whatever frequency this enemy tractor beam is, this alien tractor beam, and you feel the ship dislodge and now is able to move. The helmsman engages impulse and starts to back the Ragnar up at full speed, spinning it simultaneously as this enemy ship is increasing faster and faster. And you've given yourself some time, but it's getting closer and closer and closer and closer, and you've got to make some choices right now. You've got
Alien vessel is in pursuit.
Let's see if we can't slow it down. Target.
Trace out a
its
Krev.
engines.
Cap.
the enemy vessel, there's an enemy vessel that appears to be able to see us despite our cloak. Just engage the cloak. I don't want it drawing powers from the systems.
Aye, Captain.
So yeah, target its engines and fire phasers.
And
Acknowledged.
Karev, as you run back to the cloaking room, the color of the computer screen is once again red. And there's a sentence on it. And it says, "Don't trust the Andorian." And then it goes back to green, and it's simply on and off.
Rev sends under his breath. Yeah, I wasn't planning on it.
Ah!
Tellarites and Andorians don't get along. Okay. He will shut off the cloaking device.
And you watch as the shimmering, and remember the Ragnar has a kind of black hull on it. The plating is slightly black tinted, and you watch as the Ragnar reappears. You see the symbol, you see the words of the Ragnar, the name of the Ragnar. You see the USSS, NCC, etc. And it shuts off, and as it shuts off, the EMH simultaneously says, "Oh, life sign's getting stronger on this one. Well, that's positive. I should have him out of the cocoon shortly. Oh, by the way, it's a male, and he seems young, but I digress." And then he's going to continue with his surgery. But we're going to go back to Commander Ajay. And we will get back to the bridge as you guys are going to fire. We're going to go, but I'd like to go back to Commander Ajay as she's completing her surgery. Commander Ajay, last check.
All right.
Last chance.
Yeah. I'm
you
going
say
to
them?
give you 3 threat. so I can roll 4d20.
God bless you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I love it. I'm gonna just take those and just pocket that.
Yeah.
I mean, just roll more successes than 2, and then we'll have some threat for you, or some momentum to spend on getting
Oh,
rid of
Boom
those.
hey!
ski. Boom ski.
Bam.
There it is. Okay, so right now
Hmm.
you can spend momentum to roll additional challenge dice. Every momentum spend is, I believe, 3 additional challenge dice. That's what I'm gonna go with. We're just gonna say it's 3. It might be 2, but we're gonna go with 3 because I kind of want you to succeed. But yeah, so we're gonna have you roll. You can
Okay.
spend 1 momentum to get rid of the resistance, or you can spend the 2 momentum to give yourself 6 additional challenge die to try and save this
Or
person.
both.
Or
Get
both.
3 extra dice and get rid of the resistance.
And get rid of the, yeah, let's do that. So
Like
it's
that one?
8.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so it's 8,
8 challenge die, and
dice.
you need 6 progress to save this Endorian. Oh! Knocks it out of the park right at the last second. What a time to be alive. So imagine, if you will, you're cutting away, and as you're cutting away this cocoon and pulling it, you actually see that these tiny little tendrils that are like seeped in, and like you're cutting them away, and they're like going into his pores, into the skin. As you cut them away, you watch as like the skin kind of seals up, and you're cutting it away, and you watch as the cocoon starts to flake off, and eventually, sitting in where the cocoon was, and there's all this like cocoon debris and dust and nastiness on the floor of the medical bay. You see a unconscious Endorian laying there, and he looks a little bit something like this. Place him on there. He's wearing engineering like fatigues, Starfleet uniform, and it is a mixture of, and it's strange. You see like one arm is the Picard era, another looks to be TOS era, another seems to be of the time of the Cardassian War. It is like a mix match, and everything's kind of like stitched together. And he's currently unconscious, but he also has commander pips on. He has commander pips on as well. He's unconscious but stable. In the other bed, there's a young petty officer, human. His fatigues, his Starfleet uniform, make him look as though he is from... He's actually from your era. He looks same uniform that you guys are wearing, so it would be the same one. He's got a little comm badge on, etc. And he looks a little bit something like this. Little red uniform. He's unconscious, and the AMH cracks his digital knuckles and says, "That was very easy. You should turn me on more often. Do you need anything else, Doctor?"
No, thank you for your assistance in this matter.
Always a pleasure. And then disappears, turning himself off. Back on the bridge, though. On the bridge, there's this crazy moss-covered alien vessel that is moving towards you. And Lieutenant Paris, I would like you to roll a control science difficulty of 2 on this, because you're picking up some weird life signatures from aboard this alien vessel.
Control science. All right. You said difficulty 2?
Difficulty of 2.
I mean, I gotta give you at least one threat, right?
I
if I'm not
I like reminds that.
sciencing a little bit,
I like reminds
and
that.
ship is gonna help with the sensors.
Mhm.
All right, if the captain can help with that. So science, I don't have anything. I don't have any focus for that, unfortunately. So
Ship helps.
1. That's 1. That's good. Boom! Oh, boomski. All right, that is 2 momentum back to the crew. Love it. So you are picking up, suddenly you are seeing the entire interior of this alien vessel. And what you realize is that this alien vessel is a mismatch of Klingon, Cardassian, Romulan, Vulcan. I mean, every single known species to the Federation. This vessel is just a conglomeration. Like someone said, oh, I like that part. There's some super glue. I like that part. There's some super glue. And they just shoved it together and made whatever the hell this is. And you're also picking up about 100 life signs aboard this vessel as well. But they're all very similar, a mixture of, it's like, wait, that's a Vulcan. Nope, that's a Klingon. No, wait, it's literally just like an amalgamation. Like someone took a bunch of species and said, oh, there's some super glue, and mashed them together. And that vessel is also getting hot. Like, and when I say hot, it's starting to give off like the same kind of energy that the sun would give off. Like it's getting hot. And you're actually starting to see the shields are starting to get affecting, as it said. Like, they're starting to, like, fizzle, as though, like, if you've ever flown too close to a star. Like, that's what's happening. It's almost as though this ship is about to try to crash into and explode. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Mm. And the lieutenant's orders was to target the engines, correct?
That is correct.
Yes.
All right. So it'll say firing phasers, targeting engines.
All right. We're going to pivot you back outside. The shuttlecraft has been destroyed, sucked in. And you watch as the pulsar, although the image on the screen is pumping out energy, you actually watch as everything starts to reverse. And it starts to actually suck itself back in. And you're watching as all the debris is starting to suck itself back in towards the center. But this ship is still moving towards you with a very aggressive lightning quickness. And it is about 30 seconds away from colliding with the Ragnar. The Ragnar's at maximum impulse. It's doing its best to move away, but this ship is still gaining. So Ensign Zed, no pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure. You know, don't miss, maybe. I don't know. Difficulty on this is just going to be a 2, because you're just shooting. But I've got, I don't know, like 12 threat right now. I'm just going to spend one of it to make difficulty 3, because fuck you guys. No, I'm just kidding. I love you. You're amazing. And, you know, a little bit of drama. We need a little bit of drama in this moment.
That's right.
So let's do
That's
that.
right.
We need a little bit of drama. So with that being said, you have shipboard tactical systems. So you do have a focus. You've got 2 momentum sitting on the board right now. What would you like to do?
I would like to. Can I use both of those momentum?
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, would it be a control security or
Control
daring
security to fire the
or-
ship's phasers, yes.
Okay, yeah. And how many dice would that be with the momentum?
So if you spend 1
So-
momentum, it's 3. Go ahead, Captain. Please explain.
Yeah, one.
So yeah, 1 momentum gives you 3, and then an additional 2 momentum gives you 4, and then 3 momentum after that gives you 5 for the maximum. Which means if you want to roll 4 dice, you need to give them a threat too.
Oh. What is your advice, Captain?
Always
do
threat.
you want to roll 4 dice?
Because I think it's thematic, and this very moment,
Yes,
the captain
okay, 4
walks onto
dice.
the bridge, and it's like maximum power, probably.
Yes. So let's go with that threat.
I'm going to spend that threat to increase your complication range to 19 to 20.
That's beautiful.
All right.
I'm feeling sassy tonight.
Yeah.
I love
it. All right. Firing phasers.
Boom!
Ooh.
Boom! That is a success. You get those 2 momentum right back. And I need
You extended it
go
to 18,
ahead.
right? Complication range to 18?
What
18,
was-
19?
19 to 20. 19 to
Yes.
20.
Oh, okay. He got a 17. He's fine.
No complications. And if I remember correctly, the Ragnar has phasers, versatile to area spread, and you're just targeting. You were targeting the engine specifically, right? So okay, that would have actually been a difficulty 3, but you're gonna roll 6 challenge dice. 6 challenge dice.
Oh, is that me rolling?
Yes,
six
you are rolling
dice?
6 challenge dice.
All right. And let's see. Is that because of the untapped potential, or
No, that's just how many damage the ship's phasers.
Oh,
do.
how much
It's 6,
damage,
yep,
yes.
6 challenge dice.
All right. So let's.
And if you want to spend one of those momentum that you that you just got, you could overcome the enemy ship's 2 resistance as well, because it does have versatile quality.
And how do I roll the challenge
You just
dice?
click on the challenge dice macro at the bottom of your screen, and you input the number of challenge dice into the little box that pops
If you
up.
haven't added the macro, you'll need to click on the little hamburger
Yes.
and then
let's see.
add it to in bar
Exactly.
from the macro menu.
All right. This is under dice options.
Nope, you go
no,
to
in
the little
the-
macro bar, you're going to see the 3 little dots and the 3 lines. If you click on that, there's going to be a section that says macros, and there's going to be a couple of macros that I've built for you, the Technobabble, the System Hit, the Romulan Warbird. You're going to want to click the in bar on challenge dice, and at the bottom, you're going to want to click on where it says show macro bar. Wow.
Let's see.
And you actually rolled the System Hit, and it happens to be engines, so that's double
No,
plus
that
good.
was- That was just like a dumb one.
That was
But
double
it's
plus
pretty
good.
funny.
I like it.
So that was, let's see, that was very, let's see. So I go to the macro
So you see the
bar,
little,
are
you see the little
saying?
gear on up on the right hand
Oh
side.
yes, I see the gear.
Left of that,
yes.
there's the little hamburger. Click on the hamburger. The first thing at the top is going to be macros. You're going to see challenge dice, System Hit, and Technobabble. You want to make sure that the in bar box is checked on all of them. There's a little blue check box, and you
Got
want to
it.
make sure that the little check box that says show macro quick bar is also checked as well. And then the bottom left hand side of your screen, you're going to see Technobabble, challenge dice, and System Hit. And then you can click
Alright,
the
let's
challenge
see.
dice button. And it
Challenge dice. I see.
It should be under our names.
Under your names.
Yep,
Yep.
under your
Oh,
names.
under the names. Oh, there it is, right there. Excellent.
Hey,
Challenge
learning
dice.
opportunity. That's what we're doing.
And you said 6 challenge dice.
6 challenge dice. That is correct.
All right.
Boom! 8 damage. Holy moly's and
Wow.
hammas. So to describe this to you, the Ragnar is arcing away, attempting to maneuver out of this field, out of this singularity's range. The ship is increasing. It is about to the point where it could reach out and kiss you if it wanted to. Just be like, mwah, just give it a little tap. And you
Yeah.
manage to maneuver the ship kind of up because it's going on a straight line. It's like a bullet, and you watch as the helmsman maneuvers it up, and then that glow of the phaser ray on the bottom part of the ship's hull, the front saucer section, you watch as it zips out, and there's a single beam that travels directly to the back of the ship because you get that angle as you go up. It strikes the back of the ship, and there's an explosion of blues and greens and reds, and you watch as the ship's engine appears to flutter, and it had that kind of dark energy come out of it. It flutters and then goes off, and you watch as the ship begins to tumble. But because I have a lot of threat, it begins to tumble. Lieutenant Paris, you know those energy readings where it was getting hotter and hotter? There is they are to the point of where it's hotter than the reading of the sun, and that vessel explodes. There is a
All hands,
massive
brace for impact.
shockwave. I believe you probably go, and I'm just going to assume that we go red alert. And I have this. Here we go. Voyager red alert. There you go. You can hear it. I want a little sound effect. It's always fun. You hear the red alert. As the ship begins to arc away, you feel the inertial dampeners are struggling. It is worse than the shockwave that you originally felt when this singularity had originally exploded, this apparent star, what supernova. The whole ship begins to shake. Commander Ajay, you're in the medical. You're thrown to the floor. The two, the human and the Centaurian, are thrown to the floor as well. Everyone inside, it's just rocks start falling. The ship systems, Karev, you're just walking in at engineering. You watch as the actual glass to the warp core cracks. It's so intense. The warp core goes dark. Everything is just tumbling, spinning, tumbling. I hear you, Captain, but bear with me. You're gonna have to let me have this. I spent some threat, so you're just gonna have to let me bear with me on this. Ensign Zed, Lieutenant Paris, consoles are exploding in front of you. Captain, you are standing on the bridge. You managed to keep your feet. You see it coming, grab on, but the whole ship is just tumbling. It happens in an instant. And as things settle down, there's the bits and pieces of, like cordage and, rocks falling, as is the Star Trek way. All the different lines and wires and consoles and panels have fallen down. The ship's emergency power comes on, and as you look out into the center of where this anomaly was, you see nothing but the void of space. It's gone, completely vanished from in front of you. And all you see is the Ragnar in the middle of the void of space. And I'm curious, Captain, or anybody, what do you do?
Damage report.
Zed crawls up to his blown central panel and moves over to the ops panel to the side, and he's tallying the damage reports and casualties as they're coming in and relaying them to the captain.
No deaths. I'm not going to be a dick. There's no death. A lot of
Yeah,
wounded,
yeah.
a lot of injuries, maybe some broken arms, some legs. The ship is gonna need some time. It's gonna take you
Yeah.
probably a good week to get the ship up and running again, but life support's fine. The engine the warp core is offline, but it's fixable, Lieutenant Commander Karev.
Have I made it back to engineering
You
yet?
are in engineering. You were actually walking into engineering as this all happened. So you're in engineering. Lieutenant Paris, the ship's sensors are currently down, so you're not reading anything around you. Ensign Zed, weapons are offline. Everything's offline. Commander Ajay, the medical bay is actually perfectly and completely fine. A couple things fell off, but medical bay's fine, completely good. So you can start to heal people. And Captain, you know that really nice chair that you have?
Yeah.
It's broken.
Oh.
I know.
I'm sorry, Captain.
Very sad. Lieutenant Paris fell back into it and broke it off its stand. It could probably get fixed.
Oh.
But, the air conditioning's never going to be
Wow.
the same on it. So
Wow.
it's a real shame.
That's a threat reduction right there.
There it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah. So that is the status of the ship. But I'd like to actually pivot down to medical, as you know, your medical crew, Commander Ajay, are getting up and starting to pick themselves up, pick up the two patients. The Andorian is still unconscious, but fine, for all intents and purposes. But as you get up off of the ground, the floor, you see the boy, this young petty officer. His eyes are wide, and he's looking at the Andorian with a great intensity, as though he might recognize him, but he's struggling to like remember. It's confusion. It's confusion, maybe a little bit of fear upon the boy's face, and he's actually crouched down. If you imagine these little medical beds, he's like crouched down behind the medical bed. He's looking around, and there is just this mixture of emotions. It's confusion. It's a little bit of fear. It's a little bit of, I know that, and
Country, a little bit rock and roll.
yeah, a little bit of rock and roll. And he looks over, and then he finally locks his eyes on Commander Ajay, and he says, "Where am I?"
Welcome to the USS Ragnar.
Ragnar. I don't know a Ragnar.
We're newly commissioned. Come on, up you get.
He slowly stands.
Yeah. Ajay will move over and help him back onto his medical bed.
He sits on the medical bed and he follows instructions. He places his hands on his lap, kind of rubs his legs a little bit as he does so. How did I get here?
I suppose the first question is, do you remember what happened to your ship?
I don't remember being on a ship. I reaches down and you see like touches his tricorder. As he touches it, it makes that telltale chirp, but doesn't go anywhere. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't remember.
All right, let's start a bit simpler then. Do you remember your name?
Yes, I do. I think I do. I remember. My name is. My name is Petty Officer Joffrey Locke.
Joffrey Locke. Any relation to Admiral Locke?
Admiral Locke. You mean my father?
Possibly.
Is
Admiral Locke is one of the ones who sent our ship, who's expressed an interest in the Ragnar's mission.
is is he here?
No, not he's not here. He's back at Starbase 123, where we launched from.
Okay.
Now, you said you don't remember being on a ship, Petty Officer.
He shakes his head no.
Do you remember being on a shuttle?
He shakes his head no.
I see. We are currently in the middle of the Shackleton Expanse.
He nods his head as though he understands.
Were you anywhere near there?
I'm sorry, I don't remember where I was. I don't remember. I don't. And with that, there is a bit of a commotion from behind him on the medical bay. The Andorian has awoken. And as he sits up, he looks around. His little antennas are all going wild left and right and this way and that. And he simply states, in a firm but annoyed voice, "Who the fuck are you people? And what are you doing on my ship?" And with that, my friends, that is actually where we're going to end today's episode. Good job, everybody. And that
A
concludes.
nice cliffhanger.
And that concludes.
His ship, huh?
Yeah. And that actually concludes the end of the 3-part opener. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to open up about a week afterwards. The ship will have been repaired. And we'll kind of do a little bit of a montage of the interactions with this Andorian who is claiming that this is his ship. And then also the young ensign. So first and foremost, I just want to say congratulations, guys. I hope you had fun. Very much enjoyed everyone.
Nobody
died.
died.
Nobody died. I thought that actually this could go very, very poorly. But yeah, you're gonna learn something about me. I love cliffhangers. They are so much fucking fun for me, not you. But yeah, I'm very, very excited. I'm very, very excited to where this is gonna go. And yeah, what you guys think? I mean, did you have fun? Are you gonna be back for episode 4?
Tons.
Yes,
Excellent.
yes.
Excellent.
It was mentally challenging, coming up with solutions, for the situation. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So next episode 4. Again, we'll pick up about a week after the events of this section, and I will give you guys some time and we'll talk about it over in the Discord of questions you would have, interactions that you would have, and I'll give you a little bit of kind of filler in on who this Andorian is, and Ensign Zed. One thing I want to point out that you may not remember, but when you when you eventually meet this Andorian, he looks very familiar. In fact, you met him during episode 1, but he was an admiral. Not
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, so just wanted to throw that bone to you because you remember this guy. You remember this guy when you see him. So I wanted to drop that into your ear so you don't forget that. So 'cause I know it's been a couple weeks. But other than that, to all of our viewers that stopped in today, thank you so much for the support. Thank you also for the Prime subs. Got a couple Prime subs dropped today. That kind of stuff does help. Shameless plug. Everything that I make from Twitch goes right back into games. Helps me buy additional books, pay for like new emotes and get overlays, stuff like that. So I do appreciate Anyone that does that, not necessary. I just want to put on a fun show and have fun with my friends here. But in the meantime, thank you again, everyone, for watching. Thank you to the crew of the Ragnar. Super excited that we actually get to go to episode 4. Thought you guys might die. I tried. I threw the kitchen sink at you today. I threw the kitchen sink. TNX, thank you so much. TNX was actually on the original Ragnar. Back when I ran a very similar story, but we've started to kind of delve off from that original story. The first episode or 2 is very similar, but we're starting to tell our own story. This is Ragnar Redux, as it were, but he was one of the original crew members on it, and in fact he played a certain Andorian
Chief engineer.
that may have actually shown up. So that was a little bit of a that character getting thrown out was a little bit of a shot to him, because I think it's fun. So, but with that being said, you guys are doing great. And remember, this is our story. But as I always say at the end of every stream, thank you so much for watching, and happy gaming. We will catch you guys next time. And I guess to boldly go, live long and prosper. Goodbye, everybody. And boop.